cannot trust these leeches. I cannot trust these streets. I cannot trust these bitches. I gotta trust on me. I cannot tell my business. Stretching out racks, no fitness. Yeah, I swear we ghosts. We need to go down and get this. I put the gang on my shoulders and carry on. I put this strap on my shoulder and bring it home. Haters be low-key fans and singing my songs. I swear to God, if I see them in person, I'm doing them wrong. I gotta stay focused, they pull out their camera, take pics. Every time I'm closing my eyes, I'm seeing me running from pigs. She don't speak or don't talk, she shy, she needed something to get lit. You coming in, fuck up the vibe, we scratching your name off the list. Yeah, I got my soul in this. Yeah, then I told them this. Yes, sir. Yeah, gotta stay focused. Yeah, we don't focus. Yes, I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No.
Yeah, maybe too big, it can't fit in the driveway. I've been fucking hard since Big Worm been on Friday. I've been tripping hard on these hoes since MySpace. Taking the top out of beans, baby. Taking the top out of beans. If I pull up with your rent, baby, you gotta swallow my kids. If I'm a dog, I'm a pit, baby. Having fantasy love with a rich lady. I put it on my lips. She mad, I told my friends. I stopped hanging with your nigga, just fuck on you. Every day, baby, on your daddy. And I wanna caress you, just fuck on you, bitch. I'm trying to add you to my life. Rose gold beans, rose gold rims and ties. Rose gold shaded chain gang. All's brother is bro, that is up in Petersburg. Slaw, make your pussy.
Today, we're going to talk about the early CBB games, NBA and NHL winners, and we have to cash a squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. I really want to fade Tiger today. I hate saying that. It doesn't feel right. I mean, who else has the sack to do it?
How are we not pairing this with Judge? Fading the GOAT, I feel like a Judge pairing is required.
You know, Jovan, I could be convinced, and I think I am.
The Sooners to take care of business by 4+ runs tonight. I think the offense for Oklahoma really picks it up when we have Kyson Witherspoon on the mound. I will take my chances that the offense is going to do enough to get this into a pretty ugly game.
There's not enough glue guys to go around, Jovan. They got no glue guys in that locker room in Philly. Zero. They got the opposite. They got the most toxic team of all time. They don't give a hoot. Let's leave him in the Big 2-4.
Have to.
At least for now.
Crabs,
I would have taken Peebles if he was up there.
I'm gonna mute.
Dude, there's no way we're talking about sped up videos.
Dude, he was cooking. He was absolutely cooking. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Thursday, episode 657 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you haven't started tracking your bets on Pickett, maybe start today. Why not? All right, why are you not using that app already? There's literally people in this chat who are watching the show right now who, for some reason, after years, have still not downloaded Pickett. What are you waiting for? A fucking angel to come out of the sky and tell you to download it? No, I'm telling you to download it right now. Do it. Listen. It takes 3 seconds. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it, but I promise you will. Download Pickett, use promo code Bookit, and start tracking your bets and check out the other 20 great features on the Bookit Sports app. I promise once you download it, you're going to keep using that puppy. All right, WPickett, WBTL, and go ahead and show the graphic L Squad right.
Horrendous wager. Should be prone to firing squad, the Kansas State Wildcats. Terrible wager.
Terrible fucking wager.
Awful.
Coleman Hawkins.
Yeah, pork out there. 1 through, I guess I can't say 5. 1 through 4. Big Dave was
Coleman
there
Hawkins.
doing work. Coleman Hawkins, terrible. Doug McDaniel should be a lot of things in public.
Let's go and look at the Sharp report. See how we did overall. Not great.
Ratchet.
2 and 3 for me. Jovan, you got some work to do today, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Book
Miami
moose.
play the day, sure. They went down 20 points 5 minutes in. Never seen something like that in my life.
They were showing heart, though. They almost came back. We got one for you.
Yeah, Obi Ogbim, he stunk it up out there for Wyoming, but he almost brought him back in.
Yeah.
He reeled me back in there at the end.
He was fighting
Jeez.
right there with him at the end.
Yeah, he was. He showed heart. I'll give him that. Terrible squares for me. Fade and Josh Dix. He had another great game, career game. Dude's really turned it into a star right in front of our eyes. Jovan, great call on the Devin Royal play. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
okay.
He's goated. That's about all I had.
Shout out the Buffs for coming through. Shout out Seattle, actually, for coming through because that one was chalked.
That game was nuts.
From the grave. From the grave. Okay, Wyoming 2 for 20 from 3. Sure, Stan. Atta boy. I bet. Great debut in the in that conference tourney for Sundance Wicks. Love to see you. Do me a favor. Let's go ahead and just get to the Tobi Lawal quote. I'm done recapping these plays. Let's go ahead and get to it. My Steam Krabs here is actually not with Tobi. It's actually with Jovan. Because he disagrees with this quote.
They were terrible Krabs.
He disagrees with this quote. They were not terrible. They were bad. A step above terrible. Terrible would be Miami. Terrible would be Georgia Tech. Terrible would be the very basement of the ACC this season. Boston College. I'd say we are one small step above those moose shit teams.
Correct.
One small step. Look, I'm not going to sit here and act like we're the best team in college basketball or the best team in the ACC. We're not. Jovan, my guy Tobi, who, by the way, future NBA player. So he might know a thing or two about ball. I don't know. And it also sucks that this is going to be what people remember Tobi Lawal for, not his crazy highlights where he's dunking out of the fucking arena once a week for the Hokies, but nobody knows. Nobody's watching him because he's on a moose shit team. Jovan, the team was supposed to be the worst in the ACC preseason. Dog shit. Best player commits there, leading the gambling ring at Temple. Can't make it up. You start out with that. Okay, you also lose all your best players to go transfer to better schools, and they all turn into better forms of themselves. You can't make it up. You got John Camden out here who played 9 minutes per game last year for the Hokies, carrying a Delaware team, averaging 20 points per game, almost to the fucking big dance. Are you kidding me? Every player who leaves, Sean Padula, third team All-SEC, one of the best guards in the country. Incredible. Rodney Rice, maybe the clutchest guard in the country. Watch out for him, by the way, because he got snubbed in the Big Ten All-Conference team. He's going to be playing pissed off. Watch out for Rodney Rice. Jovan, my point is this team was supposed to be absolute quail shit, the scum on the bottom of your shoe after going for a walk in NYC.
They were.
Okay. No, they weren't.
The 13 and 19 Krabs is not good.
They were still better than they were expected to be. And that's all this quote's saying.
Let me say
He's
this.
not saying they were good. He's not saying they were good.
They finished the season number 160 in KenPom.
Yeah, which is one of their worst ratings ever, by the way.
And that is one spot below Texas A&M Corpus Christi Krabs.
Yeah.
You're telling me that
bad.
team is not that bad?
No, not compared to how they were supposed to be preseason.
Dude.
I remember coming on here, bitching, moaning, yelling, saying, oh my God, this is going to be the worst Hokies team we've ever seen. They don't have a chance. Fire the coach. Get rid of the team. Blow it up. I remember it. And then I remember as the season went on, me saying, wow, Mike Young is coaching his butt off. These guys are playing better. All the freshmen we got out there running around like they're chickens with their head cut off in the beginning of the season, looking like they never played basketball before. They're starting to play a lot better. Ben Hammond had a couple 30 pieces this season, the freshman. Okay, so they did improve. They certainly did. And they were a hair better than they were expected to be, which was the basement of the ACC. They weren't in the basement. They were like in the stairwell on the way up to the main floor from the basement. Okay, 1A to the 1B of the basements in the ACC. He's not wrong. And he's not saying the team was good. He's just saying they weren't as bad as they were supposed to be.
I want to mention something. The ceiling can't get much lower because this university has never won a national championship. I just want to mention that.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, Goots. One of two Power 5 schools that has never won a national championship.
Yep.
Virginia Tech, Kansas State.
And one of one teams that scored 11.5 against Boston College.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, lads, I'm with you, brother. That quote is not wrong.
So
that quote is not wrong.
That's just insane.
Hey, they're better than I expected. And I watch every single game. I know more about this team than I should. I know more about this team than any human being in their right mind should know. He's right. He's right. I'm sorry, but he is. We can move on. Tobi, cannot wait to see you in the NBA in 2 years. Can't wait to see you playing on Kentucky next year, being their best player, averaging a double-double every game. Okay, he's going to go on and play on a great team next year, and he deserves it. Worked his butt off this season. Okay, and then we'll see him in the NBA in 2 years. Tobi.
Yeah.
Jovan, can we talk about some of these early starts? We already got some games going right now as we speak. Okay, enough living in the past, enough talking about future NBA legend Tobi Lawal. Let's move on. Let's talk about some plays for today. And W, by God, in the chat, by God. Good to see you, my man. By God. W's. Ryan Kinney starting out BTL today as well with a resub for 20 months. W, Ryan, we appreciate you. And am I seeing Cooper Flagg is hurt? No fucking shot.
Not great for Duke.
Oh. Like actually hurt? What's going on, chat? Let me know. Jovan, we got a couple games starting up here in about 15 minutes. Let's talk about them. We are going to talk about these early games starting up here in a moment. We are going to pick it. Let's go to Arkansas and Ole Miss. Talk about this game starting up in 14 minutes. You got Coach Calipari's Razorbacks facing off against Sean Padula's Rebels. This one should be good. Arkansas, low-key, closing the door, finishing the season pretty strong. Although, Jovan, they're not closing games out very strong, but they're still winning. They've won 4 of their last 5. Now, they did get beaten by Ole Miss in their matchup this season when they played them. And Ole Miss, the opposite of Arkansas right now, they finished the season kind of bad. They've lost 3 of their last 5 games, only covered 1 of their last 5 games. Ole Miss laying 4.5, though, catching a little bit of steam against Arkansas. I like points in this game, and the total's on the way up as well. I think we see both squads put up some points, and I low-key lean Ole Miss. Curious your guys' thoughts.
Kind of do too. A little predisposed to not betting on them because I don't think they're very good. It's just kind of debating who's going to shoot better in this game. Not that that's not the story for every single game, but them specifically, like I don't think either team is going to find efficiency in the paint, which is the same story with these teams time and time again when they face comparable teams, like style-wise. So it's whoever shoots the ball better. I don't have a lot of faith in Arkansas to do that consistently because they're so it's ridiculously frustrating to watch them at times when they play games where they need to shoot well from 3, especially when they're away from home. So I don't want to bank on that. I do lean Ole Miss with you. I just don't really feel like getting involved in that game.
Yep. I kind of like Ole Miss as an ML parlay piece, and I like points in this game as well, but I like some other plays better. Probably not going to reach for this game starting up here in less than 15 minutes. Okay. Looks like BYU out to an early lead against the Cyclones.
BYU cook.
Yeah, chat. Jovan talked a little bit about BYU on the college basketball pod. If you guys have not checked out this pod, we can drop the link to this in the chat one more time for you. Might be worth your time still checking out this college basketball power conference pods. Over an hour of us talking about sleepers, winners, players to watch out for, futures, talking about all the main conferences. I can go ahead and drop the link in the chat for you guys right now for the pods. Do me a favor, guys. Check this puppy out. All right. Give it a listen this afternoon. Give it a listen when you have some time later today. Okay. And also Goots. I wanted to get to that early start here before we get into the Sharp Report, but do you have some golf plays for the peeps? Rumor has it you put out some winners last night.
We got some golf plays.
We don't need to talk about JT. We can leave him off to the sides.
I mean, I
other goats.
I already dropped them. A couple of them have already started.
It's okay.
Even
the ones that have started too. You just want to go over some of your plays.
JT hit 4 balls in the water, so I'm kind of.
Well, yeah. That's okay.
My favorite
the other
play is Putnam top 40. I think it's plus 160. He starts in 10 minutes. So
okay.
Wow. Danny McCarty, Maryland guy, top 20. He's been in form.
Sure.
And then I think Morikawa is going to win a major this year, so I'm going to keep betting him until that happens. He hasn't started yet. I have him.
This isn't a major, though, is it? Am I tripping?
It's pretty much the 5th major, but I consider it a major. But yeah.
Okay.
Golf considers it its 5th major, Krabs. It's not considered a major, but to golf fans, they do.
Sure. I know this is a big one. This tournament's
sick. A massive one, yeah.
You got the Island Green. You got Pete Dye, RIP the GOAT. Yeah, I'm stoked to watch this one and sweat it out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about just locking in Scotty and not having any fun and just taking him to get his first win of the season because he hasn't gotten
Yeah,
one
but
yet,
he's won
right?
this tournament 2 straight times, so that's not very contrarian of you, Krabs.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, W Goots. This is
Yeah.
why we keep you around. Golf sharp. Jesus. Back-to-back W's for Scotty.
Back-to-back players W's, yes.
Okay. So if I'm looking at some of the plays you locked in, Goots, I don't want to go with Colin. I'm not liking his attitude right now.
I know.
But some of the other guys up there that you went over, is it maybe just a Putnam sprinkle like you were just talking about?
Not to win. I took him top 40, so
Okay.
you're going to be getting crazy odds for him to win there. But
Any guys you'd like to win potentially?
yeah, I took Ludwig and Sepp Straka outright.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Ludwig, you said he's been playing this course a decent amount, right?
Yeah, I mean, he played this tournament last year, and I think he finished 8th. But yeah, he lives in the area now, so I'm sure he's definitely practiced on it a good amount for sure.
All right.
Yeah, Ludwig's the most popular guy on Earth, Chaco, because he's the next Scotty.
Yeah. No, he's definitely trendy because he's cool and new and really good.
Yeah.
I get it. And then Seb Straka is, a bigger dude. He's been around for a while, but he's playing kind of his best golf right now.
Yeah,
right?
He's went from what I got him at to plus 1,400. He is 3 under at the moment. He's 1 back.
Wow.
Yeah, through 13.
All right. W's.
Yep.
Chat, you guys sweating out any golf plays? Let me know. Would love to see what you guys are sweating so I know what to root for.
Chat, like it's kind of like hard to like get contrarian like you're looking for here. I go with guys who are in form. That's kind of how you got to do it with golf. So,
you know what I missed out on, Goots, that I'm pretty blown about?
What?
I wanted to take no hole in one in this tournament at plus 150.
Yeah, there was almost one an hour ago. It's close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but every time I've opened up a blue colored book, I've seen a hole in one boost for there to be a hole in one on 17.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the fucking prop of there to be a hole in one in this tournament all over the app as well. Kind of weird.
I never,
fading the book senses were tingling when I opened up that book and saw some.
When I was labbing yesterday, I didn't look that hard for the hole in one stuff, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it on Green Book.
I dove into it a little bit last night. Only looked on blue, and I saw you could bet just hole 17.
Yeah.
For there to be a hole in one, you could bet the whole tournament. Kind of cool. Thought the more options they're giving you, probably the better chance that there's no hole in one and they take all the coins. Was kind of how my brain was thinking about it. And I almost got there. So maybe I could lock it in live.
We got one at Waste Management, which is another very popular bet for hole in one that tournament. So, I mean, maybe we don't get one this week.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Plus 140. I saw plus 140 and plus 150 last night.
You also got to think that most of these guys, Krabs, have like 5 to 7 hole in ones in their lifetime. So it's not like it's impossible to happen.
No, it's probably more probable to happen.
Yeah.
On a course like this.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to get involved here, Goots?
On what?
Picking my random golfer?
If you want to.
Might have to be time, dude.
If you want to, you can bet a guy live, or the later wave has just started up. So,
oh, got him. I for sure got him.
Who was it?
Doug Gim, got it.
Doug,
just one.
Fucking Gim.
Just one.
Doug him.
Yeah, that guy's like 5'4", but
just one.
He can play some golf.
Doug him.
Yeah, just one.
Doug him.
Literally just one.
Yep.
All right. Why don't we dive in and talk about some of these sharp report plays here, because one of the plays does start kind of soon. Want to make sure we give the people some time. After we went over some golf futures, some angles there, W Goots getting in the fucking lab. W Moose 2727 coming in resubbing. Rutgers blows. Yes, they do. Rutgers blows. Yes, they do. Apologies to anybody out there who got mind controlled or fooled last night and bet Rutgers. That sucks. 2-star players. Goes to show you need 5 out there. 2 doesn't do shit. Not in college basketball. Honestly, you need like 12. You need all 11 fucking great players, bench and starters, and you need the coach. You need everybody dialed in. You need the whole shebang. 2 players doesn't do shit. And I think Rutgers kind of proved that this season. Jovan, let's get to the sharp report here. I got a play that everybody's on. I got a play that I'm extremely scared about because all 8 billion people on this planet are actually on this play. And that's Ohio. Seen it from every sharp, seen it from every Twitter account, seen it from everybody I know. It's Ohio. But Jovan, I can't resist. I have to bet it. I don't care. They're playing a Toledo team that owns them. A Toledo team that I've been screaming from the mountaintops is overrated. They're not that guy, pal. They're not that good this season. And honestly, they finished the season kind of like that. Like, they did not play great. I know they're coming off a win in their last game, but before that, they lost 4 straight games in a row. Did not finish the season very strong, right? They also need to bring this up. They own Ohio. I think they've beaten them the last 8 times they played them, at least the last 5. They own Ohio. They swept them again this season, Jovan. Why is Ohio, who's potentially down 2 of their best players, not their best player, but 2 of their, top 5 best players in this game, why are they opening up favorites? I don't get it. This Ohio team cannot figure out a way to beat Toledo. And by the way, this is an in-state rivalry. These 2 teams play every year, multiple times. They don't like each other. And Toledo has absolutely owned Ohio over the last half a decade or so. What's going on with Ohio here, Jovan? They literally just played Toledo in their last game less than a week ago. They lost by 14 in that game. And now Ohio, with still 2 of their best 5 players banged up and probably not going to play in this game. What the fuck's going on? I'd be shocked if Aiden Hadaway plays. Even if he does, he hasn't played in months. So what kind of, impact is he going to have on the game? Probably not a great one. A.J. Brown, he's actually one of their best players. He hasn't played the last couple games either, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's out tonight as well. And they're still favorites. So weird.
Yeah, pretty weird. I'm down to get involved for a little early sweat crabs.
Yeah,
it's not Kent State, so it can't be the worst sharp angle on the MAC.
No, but it's close. It's back in Ohio, which is the second worst angle to back in the MAC. It's close.
Fair.
Right? Yeah, Jackson Paveleche, definitely saying that name wrong, but God, he's playing pretty good right now, man.
ISU legend.
Pavlovsky? Is that closer? Say it again. Paveletsky?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll learn his name if he actually comes through and cashes a bet for me for the first time in 10 games I bet them this season.
Sure.
I'll say it right tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will. And I do like watching this kid play. He's got moxie, blue collar, hard worker out there. Makes a lot of stupid mistakes, I will say. Not perfect. Makes a lot of stupid mistakes and stupid passes sometimes, but I know Ohio's coming off a couple losses. He actually closed the season out pretty well. He was averaging closer to 10 points per game halfway through the season. Then they had even more injuries this team was dealing with, and you did see Jackson step up towards the end of the year and play his best ball. So he's averaging closer to 14 points per game now, finishing pretty strong.
Sure. Yeah.
W Nerfy Chads. Yes, the Kraken W's. The Kraken was a W play last night, although we got kind of lucky. That play probably shouldn't have hit, but good play.
Yeah.
Good play and we move. Also, shout out, although it was closer than it should have been. Jesus. I had a 2-piece Bozo pack with Utah on the ML against the Ducks last night, Jovan, and American against Navy. Didn't tweet it. Knew if I tweeted it, I would get scolded and no chance that would hit fading Navy. But the 2-piece paid out. They made me earn it with Utah late night. That game was tied late. But W Jazz coming through is that fat, weird fave. It was super weird and not worth the minus 300, but they did come through and win.
Wait, so Jazz or Hockey Club? Or I guess it had to be Hockey Club.
Hockey Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, minus 300.
Yeah, you said Jazz. Threw me off. So, didn't they lose? Weren't they?
I'm looking at your Juzang jersey. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's throwing me off a little bit back there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Ohio ML. I know I'm getting distracted right now, but early starts up in 30 minutes on ESPN Plus. I simply cannot resist, chat. I know you've heard this fucking story before. You've seen this movie before. Okay? But we have to get back to the well. An Ohio team that simply cannot beat Toledo. But this team stacks up well with Toledo, even without 2 of these guys who might be out with injuries. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. And they just played, Jovan. They just played. Give me Ohio. Has to be done.
Yep. Has to be done. I'm in.
Let's flip it around to Jovan's plays. I want to see what straight bet he's on to get the day started. How about Creighton?
Yeah.
Sure.
Load up Creighton after DePaul. I don't know what they have. It's a shorthanded Georgetown team, I guess. But, they just beat them 2 games consecutively. No Sorber, which would probably be the biggest key to the matchup in that game. But they have some kind of little voodoo hex over Georgetown. They just beat them. A closely contested game yesterday for the conference tournament, first game of the conference tournament. Now they see Creighton. Nobody is guarding Ryan Kalkbrenner, dude. Not a soul. And D'Amico's too small. The three bigs they rotate. I don't know who they're going to start this game, but 2 of the 3 out of the bench are not guarding Kalkbrenner. And they played him the first game. They got absolutely destroyed. That was when they actually like brought to and consistently double team Kalkbrenner. It didn't work. Their second strategy in a game that was a lot closer, which they actually covered a similar number here. They only lost by 10, but they just kind of let Kalkbrenner go one-on-one and do his thing, and that actually helped them stay more competitive in the game than it did the first time around. So if I were the coach, I would be going right back to that today. The problem is I don't think that's going to work today, especially playing a Creighton team that's gotten stronger, I think, as the year goes on, partially because, their big injury addition by subtraction definitely helps. But you're getting Stephen Ashworth more healthy, able to facilitate. The defense has gotten stronger, especially in the three-point line. So I think that's big in stopping DePaul today because I think they're going to have to shoot the lights out in this game if they want to keep this close. So needless to say, I don't think it happens. So I'm taking Creighton.
All right, back in Creighton. I think this team has a pulse to do something, win a couple games, maybe make a run in this tourney.
Yeah, I mean, in this tourney, yeah, I guess. But
yeah,
beyond that, no.
I mean, they are the 2 seed. It's not like they're sleeper.
I mean, not exactly.
They've had a weird season, man. I feel like they've had some serious highs and lows. More highs of late, more lows early on. So obviously trending in the right way. But yeah, Creighton laying a big old number against a deceased DePaul squad. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say deceased. They've been
playing
better basketball. They won 3 in a row. Yeah, 1 3 in a row.
You're right.
But I think it's more they got fortunate in the last, a couple games playing an actual dead Providence team and then the shorthanded Georgetown team where they just have their number for God knows what reason. Plus, Sorber is dead.
Yeah, DePaul covering 4 in a row. Creighton, though, beating DePaul 5 straight matchups in a row. They got DePaul's number. See if they can make it 6. Spread's moving up from 11.5 to 12.5. Moving in the Blue Jays' direction. Sure. We'll come back to the Broncos. For now, let's swing it around, Gootsy. Go over play number 2. Looks like we've got Marquette on the money line. Talked about Marquette on the pod a little bit. Thought Marquette was getting some disrespect, or at least not getting any respect heading into this tourney, and probably for good reason. This is the worst Marquette team we've seen probably in the last couple of years, and they're still good, by the way. They're just not as good, and they finished the season kind of weak. They dropped their last 2 games to UConn and St. John's, 2 really fucking good teams. Their lost 5 games ago to Villanova is a little bit more inexcusable when they lost that game by 15 on the road, but this team is not as good as years past. This team, when the lights are bright, Cam Jones and co. typically don't stand up when they need a win, when the game matters in a tournament setting. Marquette, I feel like, has been kind of a sleeper a little bit this season, and they have not had the greatest year. Then you look at their opponent tonight, or this afternoon, Jovan. They're playing Xavier, who is on fuego. This Xavier team might be the hottest team in college basketball, certainly the hottest team in this conference, and they just beat Marquette a couple months ago when they played them by a couple points. So they split the season series. Marquette beat them last year. Xavier beat them earlier this year, right? They split this season series. Marquette comes in off of 2 losses. Xavier's on absolute fire. Xavier, hottest team in college basketball, playing great ball right now, but they're still dogs against Marquette. Maybe I'm getting got here with the line. Maybe Marquette still has some leftover line respect. I don't know. If they are, I'm willing to pay to find out, but I've seen a lot of Xavier love on the feed today. I've seen a lot of people locking in Xavier plus 2.5, the hottest team in this conference, against Marquette, who looks like a shell themselves this season. And I'll tell you right now, just when you think Marquette is fake sharp, that's when they come through. When you think Marquette is the easiest play on the boards, they never fucking come through. And that's when they lose. Today, Xavier looks like a free play. I'll take Marquette as favorites. Who wants to lay the juice with this Golden Eagles team against the hottest team in their conference who just beat them? Nobody. I'll do it.
Yeah, sure. I'm in on that. I kind of like the Golden Eagles.
Rare, non-public Marquette spot.
Yeah, feels like Xavier was everybody's like sleeper team to win this tournament. So
yep.
I would not hate being on the opposite side of that in the first game.
Sure. W, hey, I'm Matt. Getting a workout in. Good shit, brother. Keep grinding. Appreciate you listening while you're in the gym. Nerfy Chad, I'm on this play. Hate Shaka, so I'm happy either way of outcome. I kind of agree. Although I respect Shaka for stuff he did mainly at VCU. Honestly, that was fucking sick a couple years ago. He's a good coach. He's annoying as heck. He thinks he's playing defense sometimes on the court, gets way too involved, but he's a good coach. And I think tonight he comes through and gets a big-time W. All right?
Sure.
Jovan, let's go back to the Broncos. I want to hear this Boise sell job.
I know you didn't want to do it, but I will gladly step in and do it for you if you don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
They're playing the San Diego State team. I mean, Boise State's offense has looked so much better. They went 0-2 against San Diego State in the 2 games. Were not particularly close in the regular season. The second one surely wasn't. The first one was close for a bit, ended up, I believe, closing at like an 8-point game towards the end. Really should have been a larger deficit than that. But the biggest difference with that, like Boise State was so reliant, and they still kind of are, on like working from the inside out. Like Degenhardt has to have a pretty big game. You want to have a guy or a couple guys that he's guarding that can just be bullied down low on the block, and he can get to the rim pretty easy. Now the difference, outside of the fact that they've just figured it out offensively down the stretch, and they've looked much, much better since those games. Guath is not playing today for San Diego State because he's been out for like 2 weeks, and he played both of those games. He was one of the biggest reasons why not only Degenhardt, but a lot of the guys couldn't get to the basket in both of those games. So without him in there, that's like a heart and soul of their defensive presence, everything that makes teams so frustrated with doing anything inside the arc. You're not going to see that against Boise State today. So I think that's a huge, huge addition, and that's why I'll probably be on Degenhardt points as well. I think he has a great game and a much better matchup than he did the first time. So I think everything's going to be a lot smoother, whether it's just guys getting to the basket or when you have Cardano Torres getting everything going facilitating-wise, kind of like DeJuan Harris. We kind of relied on that a little bit yesterday. So I think everything lines up for Boise to get their lick back after losing both the games in the regular season, because I think the matchup is severely changed. You're going to see a lot more one-on-one with a lot less, length, athleticism, physicality that doesn't go in their favor in each of those matchups. So you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you, Krabs.
Yeah, those 8 billion people that I said were all in Ohio with me on my play on the Sharp Report, I think they all locked in Boise State as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we've heard this story before. We've seen this movie before. They're probably not going to go 2-0. It's literally the only reason why I don't care for it. And I guess there is a second reason for this. It's because it's Coach Rice. When the lights are bright, it scares me. But I cannot deny the line. I cannot deny how nasty it looks against the team that beat them twice this season, against a better squad, a generational team in San Diego State that dominates this conference. Boise, the new kids on the block that do have talent this season. They have the matchup. San Diego State still has one of their big man outs. A lot of stuff makes sense to back Boise here for smart people, right? In a sharp spot. I just don't know if I can get there, man. Every time I fade San Diego State, every time I fade Coach Dutch, I lose coins. Every time I try to back Boise in a big-time spot, more often than not, they don't come through. I'm scarred. I'm hurt. We'll come back to this one. All right? I want you to get another go. Try to convince me. We'll talk about it towards the end. I'm not canceling it out or ruling it out. We'll come back to it. Okay?
Yeah.
Gutsy, swing it back around for me, will you? I got one more straight bet for the peeps, and then we'll come back to Jovan's. Late night under. Between 2 big name squads, 2 teams that people think are fucking great. I think Clemson's pretty darn good. They've had a really good team, man, for the last 2 years. Do I think that their magic already happened last season? Probably. And I'm not really looking to back this team to do anything either in the ACC tourney or in the big dance, although they will be there. Certainly. This team is good. They deserve some respect. What's really good about both these teams, though, Jovan, especially Clemson, what impresses me is their defense, man. They play fucking defense. You don't see that very much in the Big 2-5. Everything's about scoring, right? All these, mid-major players are all trying to put up big numbers in the stat sheet so they can get recruited to another better school and get paid, right? It's all about offense these days in Big 2-5. Nobody gives credit to some defenses or teams locking in, playing some hard-nosed basketball, locking up on the defensive side of the floor. And that's what Clemson's been doing this season, man. They've been playing some really good defense. SMU as well has a top 75 rated defense in the country based off of defensive efficiency. They're no slouch either. Clemson, no top 35. They're much better, and I think they're actually honestly better than that ranking. I think they have a top 25 defense in the country. SMU, no slouch either, though. And in a big game when the lights are bright, with both teams come in playing some pretty good ball in their last game, I want to fade the offenses back and under with this total dropping. Jovan, when these teams played a couple weeks ago, the over hit, and this total, for some reason, opened up around the same number and is now dropping a couple points. I'm a sucker for totals round 2 that look weird after the outcome in round 1, and I'm all over this one. Give me the under in the late night game on ESPN2. The lights will be too bright for the Mustangs. Clemson defense is going to show up, and SMU's defense, they're no slouch either. They'll hold Clemson to less than 75 points. Give me the under.
Yeah. I think maybe a silly narrative, but being the fact that I think we're seeing Duke, I don't know. Well, it depends on what happens in this game, I guess. But regardless, like, you're not going to have flag for probably the rest of the tournament. A team like Clemson, who is, I think, clearly, and it's not even close, the second best team in this tournament, maybe it gives them a little extra juice. Just go and go for it, I guess, essentially, which they bank on defense. So I would assume they're going to get that. I like to play as is, but this is probably going to be a damn good game for both these teams with a little added extra motivation now. See the path ahead of them a little more.
Jovan, I love you, man, but none of this matters. James Wood just hit a 3-run nuke.
Oh, my God. God damn it, man.
None of it matters, folks.
God damn it, dude.
None of it matters. Yeah, he's hitting 20 this year, folks. And the Nats might make the playoffs. I got a really good vibe with this team heading into the season. A lot of pressure on the execs, a lot of pressure on the GM, a lot of pressure on Mike Rizzo for a team that after winning the World Series in 2019 has had 5 straight losing seasons. This is typically the time when it's make or break for the execs. If they don't come through this season, they're out of here. And they're hitting the reset button. Big year for the Nats. Big year for the people in charge. They're not fucking around. They can't afford to. Or they're losing their jobs.
We need to start asking. The prime comps are coming in, Krabs. They're coming in.
Sure, they're coming in.
I've been seeing them.
Sure. I feel like I spit facts about my teams now. And I feel like I'm generally pretty right.
I mean, you're definitely more right than prime, but I will never forget about VT. It's supposed to be a playoff team, Krabs.
Sure, and again, the L's, they outweigh the W's. That was a shit take.
Horrid. That was horrid.
That was maybe one of the worst. Saying Kyron Drens is taking the Hokies to the promised land. Sure. You're right. I've had a lot of good takes, though, over the years that nobody remembers.
Yeah, there's been some good takes in there. This calendar year, though, I've been out. You had the Nats under win total too, man. Now we're switching up.
Last year I did, yeah. And then DJ Ertz saw that I had it tracked, and I had to delete it. Yep.
Unbelievable. And
now he doesn't.
Maybe this is your year. This is your year for the squads.
I'm back in the Nats. I'm taking their win total over. Okay? Got a good feeling, good vibe about the Nats this season, and they are crushing baseballs in the spring. That matters, right? Sure. Could somebody tell me why the Hokies are being disrespected outside the top 20? Krabs in 2024. Yep. I did say that. All right, let's move and groove. I want to see Jovan's last straight bet before we get to the prize pick squares. Sure.
I wanted to buy somewhat low, I guess, on this total for the Lightning and the Flyers. Two teams that have been just piss poor offensively. And there's a lot of added extra wrinkles in this game because I always like to target something Lightning-wise when two things happen. When either Jonas Johansson is in net and we get no Vasi, because whenever that happens, the Lightning are kind of very aware that they can't just sit back and let teams rip on them. They need to be aggressive offensively to score goals to make life easier for him because he's not Vasi, obviously. So they play a more open game, a faster game. But usually that comes with Nikita Kucherov being involved, who is sick today and is a game-time decision of whether he plays or not. I'd be shocked if he played. They called up Cam Atkinson, so I am probably 90% sure he's not going to play today. When they play without Cooch, they're also much faster, much more direct. It's a lot less cute when they're in the O-zone. Braden Point is more direct. Like Nick Paul is probably going to be up on that line. He's more direct. So it's a lot better offensively. Not better in the sense that they're obviously not scoring as many goals, but they're a little quicker. So it leads to really everything being faster, and they're a little more exposed on the defensive side of things too. So I think the Lightning, who going to be a little shorthanded today, are still going to be pretty aggressive, and they're going to score goals, and they've been pitiful. They've scored 1 goal in their last 2 games, and one of those was that pitiful showing against the Bruins, who are fresh off the trade deadline, or technically it was right before it, I think, but fresh off of just, I don't know, having a gutted team. Trent had the minus 300 in his lay, and that was chalk. They lost 4-0, got dominated. They followed that up with a pitiful performance against the Panthers and got dominated, and now you're back against the Flyers in a game that you're just going to let it all out. So I feel like this is going to be a back and forth game, a lot of sloppy hockey, a lot of sloppy turnovers in the D zone, which is typically what happens. But the Flyers also need to pick it up because they've been on this horrid stretch of hockey. We've talked about it time and time again. They cashed the over in their last game, and it wasn't really any help to them. Just bad turnovers from them. Same kind of story. The Sens were aggressive, and they ripped shots from every which angle, and the Lightning are going to have the same opportunity to do it again today. So when you're without one of, if not the best player in hockey, in Nikita Kucherov, and you're getting a team that knows they have to be aggressive and score against a really, really bad defense in the Flyers, I think this game will be pretty fast-paced. It just comes down to maybe if the Flyers can contribute, which I think they can, at least 2.
Back at some goals on the ice in your Lightning game.
Yeah.
Sure. Chat's going nuts about this Ohio game right now. Here's the deal, guys. Ohio, it looks like the Twitter POD. I mean, it is. Everybody I know and love is on it. Straight up. All 8 billion people on this planet have a fucking slip with Ohio in it. It's just facts. It scares the heck out of me. It reminds me a little bit of Ohio yesterday. It's giving me those vibes. But what can we do? We're not switching. We're not flipping. I'm locking in Ohio on the ML against Toledo. I'm seeing both their guys are out in this game as well. A.J. Brown and Aiden Hadaway confirmed out. Both guys were probably not going to play anyways for this tournament, like the coach was saying, and it's confirmed they're both going to be out there. A.J. Brown, a little bit more of a loss. He's actually their second best player. Not good. But with that being said, they're still favorites against a Toledo team that's beaten them 1,000,000 times in a row. Pretty weird. I got to get involved.
Yeah.
Can't ignore it. No way we aren't fading the Mount, Krabs. Stanley, bro. We'll talk about the Mount in a little bit.
Yeah, you think Krabs is fading them out, man?
We'll talk about the Mount in a little bit. Okay. It does have to be Marist. I agree. Jovan, let's talk about some prize pick squares. Enough of the straight bets. Let's talk about some squares. Some shit on prize picks that we like. I'll tell you what I'm liking. Miles Bird on offense of late. He's rejuvenated his offense in his sophomore season before he probably goes to the NBA draft. Maybe he comes back for one more year. I don't know, but he's starting to play pretty good on the offensive side of the ball. He's had some pretty good games, some pretty good performances, getting his confidence back from deep as well. We know the guy's a shot jacker from 3. Last 2 games, he finally hit 2. I think he bangs 2 again in this game tonight against Boise, in a game where I'm liking points. I know you like the Broncos. But in the 2 games Miles Bird played against the Broncos this season, game 1, he hit this with ease. Game 2, the more recent one, he did not. And they actually did a better job of strapping him up in that game. I think third time around, Miles Bird, with his confidence in the last couple games, banging multiple threes. We know the volume is going to be there with Miles Bird. That's one thing we never have to worry about. Let's just hope the fucking ball finds the bottom of the net. I think tonight it does. I think he stays hot. Miles Bird bangs 2 threes again.
Sure. I'm in on that.
Donovan Yap single-handedly won San Jose State that game last night against Wyoming. This could be a spike fade, sure.
Yeah.
He had the best career game I've ever seen. He was unbelievable. Good for him. But money's green, and I want to make some tonight. And I'm going to fade Donovan Yap on his points after a legacy performance where he shot 5 for 6 from 3. Incredible. Literally won them that game last night. I'm fading him today against a much, much better defense that they have to face today. San Jose State against New Mexico. Good fucking luck, buddy.
Yeah.
Night and day. That defense you're going to be seeing today.
Sure.
Right? Dubs. Let's go to your squares and see what you're cooking up today, Jovan.
Start in the, I guess, stay in the state of Texas for both of these, but start in that Houston game against Colorado. Tired of the Buffs, but if you got an eyes on this Uzan assist square, Krabs, because it's the reddest chart I've ever seen. And it's pretty juicy over, which is interesting. But a lot of the red bars for him have their own little different circumstances in the last 5 games. Like a lot of them, he gets a lot of his assists to either Francis or Roberts in the paints, especially when it's like a transition off a turnover. But they haven't had the greatest of matchups with that the last couple games. And the couple games that they actually did have solid matchups, he got into foul trouble. So I think this is I don't want to say a stretch that shouldn't be considered necessarily of why he's all red, but there were extenuating circumstances for a couple different things. So now you get a Colorado team that is not as good in the paint. You're going to have multiple bigs in there as well, which should give them trouble, similar to like what Kansas did yesterday with KJ Adams and Dickinson, but obviously a little more athletic. But now you're going to have them forcing turnovers on a Colorado team that loves to turn the ball over, and they haven't been facing teams in TCU and West Virginia that turn the ball over or turn you over too much in their couple games in the Big 12 tournament. Now you get to see one, obviously, in Houston that they already have some trouble against offensively, which everybody does. But now Uzan, I think, is going to have the ball in his hands a little bit more, and he's going to be facilitating for the bigs because LJ Cryer has found a lot more success in the spot-up role as of late against teams like this. And same with Emmanuel Sharp, who hasn't been fully healthy over the last couple weeks, but now he seems to be getting healthy and playing, so maybe he gets a couple there too. But I think it's a great matchup. I think Houston rolls, and I think they're going to be a problem in the paint. So Uzan's been good at facilitating that. So taking his assist. And then Tremont Mark is, I guess, the reliable scorer at this point because Trey Johnson can't find a way to cash his points, even though he shoots 50 times a game. But Tremont Mark is the point guard now for the team, which I think kind of works. And I guess like Texas fans are splooging over this because they've been waiting for this for a while. But now that you get to play a Texas A&M team, it's a tougher matchup on paper defensively than, like the last couple games they play. Obviously, like last night, playing a Vandy is much, much different. But the thing with Texas A&M, probably the toughest matchup that Trey Johnson is going to have to see all year. A lot of length, a lot of athleticism. They're closing lanes. They're doing everything from a shooting perspective to contest, which is why, he shot extremely poorly the first time they played. But you're going to have length and athleticism all over the floor for Texas A&M. Tremont Mark is going to have the ball in his hands, and the thing that's so key about him being the point guard now is he puts pressure on defenses instead of them just passing the ball around the perimeter and saying, Trey Johnson, jack up a terrible shot and hope you make more of them than you miss. So Tremont Mark today, I think he's going to be pretty important like he has been the last couple of games. Get to the rim, put pressure on the defense, get to the free throw line, especially when I don't think the answer in this game when they're left without a shot, like every other time, is just pass the ball to Trey Johnson and hope he makes the shot, even though it's going to be a terrible shot. I think Tremont Mark is going to be a little bit more of that guy. See if you can get to the free throw line. See if you can put pressure on the defense. See if you can at least grind out, tough trips to the free throw line and get maybe half of this point line from that if you really have to. So riding the wave with him, I think he's the most important part to them potentially getting in the tournament. He has been the last couple games.
All right. Yeah, two interesting squares, dude. The Uzan one obviously signed me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Looking at the chart before you even gave a great sell job. The Mark one, obviously I have some hesitancies back on anybody else besides Trey Johnson, but Tremont Mark has been stepping it up the last couple games for this Texas team. So I'm in. Sign me up. Sure. Already locked in the BTL Sharp Report 4-man as well, and I dropped the link in the chat.
For those who want to Uzan square is, for whatever reason, it's like minus 135 to the over, which is crazy.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's really weird.
I guess maybe a Colorado tax, but God knows.
Everybody and their mother locking in Ohio. I'm getting all the notifs. Jesus Christ. Surely this goes well, right? I'm still trusting my read, but I definitely don't feel great about it. It's probably because of Wyoming last night and what they did to my heart.
Sure.
That's got to be what it is. I'm still locking it in, chat, on the ML. Ohio. Rolling with the Twitter POD. Shit. And then I'm locking in Marquette. All right. Today you ride the Titanic with the public. Yep. See how it goes, Richie. Sure. All right, Jovan. W squares. We'll keep moving and grooving here. We'll take a peep at some of these other games going on in college basketball. Okay. Chat, you guys got any other questions about any of these earlier starts in CBB before we move and groove? Now's the time. Drop them. I'm seeing Cooper Flagg obviously hurt out. I saw the clip of him banging his ankle, banging up his ankle. Not good. Back on the bench, though, Goods. Okay.
I don't know why he would play until the tournament at this point, the actual tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do they need? What do they need to prove?
That wants St. Louis against Davidson.
St. Louis.
SLU squares, too. Interesting. Guys, Davidson has taken a lot of money out of my pockets over the years. Shout out Foster Lawyer. OGs remember. But, yeah, I honestly like Davidson in this spot with the points. You got a rejuvenated program. You got Steph Curry saying, I'm coming back into town. I'm giving you all my money. The team feels great. They're all happy, smiling from ear to ear. They know they're about to be much better next season as well. That could only help. And they're coming off a big-time win yesterday against Richmond, where they held on for dear life. I know this team isn't good, but why the hell did Davidson open up +2.5 against a much better St. Louis team that's finally playing their best basketball of the season? I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty weird to me. I thought they
Yeah.
should have opened up, -4.5, -5.5 maybe for St. Louis here against Davidson, the 12th seed. So I kind of like Davidson. Not going to lie. Opening up at +2.5. Looking at me funny.
I can
All right.
respect it. I got no thoughts.
Any thoughts on Northwestern game at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, +8.5 against Wisconsin?
Yeah, I kind of liked Wisconsin in this tournament. This was a game that scared me a little bit because
Okay.
not only because you're going to see a couple of these today where it's the Big Ten, I don't want to say system, but the bigger favorites that we consistently faded the entirety of the year. And obviously you're going to get a couple of them on a neutral court this time, but Northwestern is such a contrast style to what Wisconsin does. And part of that's obviously because Northwestern's not incredibly healthy. It's Martinelli and booty ball or nothing. And the guards, I guess, fill in when they need to. But if they have a consistent little cog in the paint, which they should, the matchup kind of calls for that. And Wisconsin does not shoot incredibly well, which that's the key to them scoring points in every single game, it seems like. This could get close, and this could get weird. So I kind of lean Northwestern.
Okay. All right. Yeah, W. Billy the Kid. I saw the nuke. Oppa. Fucking beast. Goots. Nobody saw the Kobe Mayo double. I'll say.
Kobe Mayo doubles.
You're the only one that saw that one.
With exit velos? Come on. Come on.
It's incredible. Incredible amounts of glazing. Okay. All right, Chad. I'm locking in Ohio right now as we speak. Just trying to wait to see all the line movement. I'm gonna lock him in right now on the money line. Shit.
Bigger spread than at Northwestern? No, that does not make me feel better because Northwestern didn't they have more than half their team that they're missing right now in that first game? Plus, it wasn't at Wisconsin, was it? Pretty sure it was on the road. I don't think they played. Didn't they not play at Wisconsin this year?
Who, Northwestern?
Yeah. So of course it's going to be a bigger spread because it's neutral
did not
site.
play at Wisconsin. They only played at Northwestern this year.
Yeah. So of course it's going to be bigger. It's a neutral site.
All right. Krabs says incredible amount of glazing, but dedicated a segment to victory lapping being 1A to the basement. Gotta be. You're gonna have to explain that one to me, Pax Pix. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong there.
I see the vision. I see the vision.
Okay. All right. Chat, lock in Ohio. Mini squad ride to get the day started. Let's hope it's not like fucking Wyoming yesterday.
Pax Pix he must like my glazing of the Orioles, so I'm just gonna keep doing it for the people.
Sure. Whatever you gotta do, Gootsy. Okay. I was looking for a fat favorite to pair with Ohio on the money line, but I don't know if I'm going to do that and get that cute with it. Maybe it's New Mexico. We think New Mexico loses to Donovan Yap today?
I mean, probably not. I just feel like Bozo Packs in the Mountain West are just asking for cake.
Certainly.
Could be Marist. Since you seem so convinced it's cake.
Dudes. I mean, it actually is cake, unfortunately, and it probably is Marist. Chat, let's talk about the Mount game real quick.
Dude, Krabs has been legit sulking for a full 24 hours now about that line.
Yeah, I mean, last night they opened up +1.5 against a team that they literally just beat the other day. Against a team that finished the season terribly. They lost 4 straight games in a row. Their last game of the regular season was against the Mount. Okay, and that loss by 10 points, by the way. And now you turn it around a couple days later. Both teams' next game, first game for each squad in this conference tourney. And you're telling me that Marist is now catching steam up from -1.5 to -3.5. First off, it's weird they're favorites in the first place because we just beat them. Second off, Marist is catching steam. And then when you dive into what's going on right now, I think the odds makers are hip. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Mount without their stud big man who's out for the rest of the regular season. So without him down low, I really don't see the Mount having a chance. And their backup guard, Keys, who's been a beast from behind the three-point arc, he's out as well. So no Keys, backup guard, good for depth. No Terrell R. Jr., MVP of the team, glue guy, senior, veteran. I don't think they stand a chance. And the spread agrees with me, unfortunately. It does.
Could be
Spread agrees.
GG's, unfortunately.
It's probably GG's. Bring the mount chain out just to stick with the Krabs. Yeah, I can't rock the mount chain when I say they're going to lose. That seems counterproductive. Okay? But that's probably a good look, Jovan.
Yeah.
Probably a good look. All right. Any other CBB plays you want to talk about, Jovan?
You want to talk about this UNC Wake game?
Sure. I want to hear why you like Wake Forest.
I mean, Krabs, we're about to get, because, I mean, Duke's already stormed back. And, I mean, they're never losing this game, flag or not, from the start. But now you've got a look-ahead spot, it seems. You will, after this game goes final, for another Duke-UNC rematch against a Wake team that's largely dead, but they match up a lot better with UNC than I think people realize. So, like, this is, I mean, I through looking through all of the board, I mean, this seems like one of the easier plays in my head, looking at UNC, and they're in a spot to get that rematch. They just look great. Dismantled Notre Dame yesterday. Notre Dame's fucking terrible. Now you get a Wake team that hasn't done much of anything down the stretch, and their offense can't do much. And now you get the game for everything, and you're only getting 5.5.
It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird, and I would say the spread is screaming Wake Forest. I do not disagree.
Yeah.
I actually agree.
Plus, I mean, Wake, the thing with them on both sides of the floor, I guess, they just try to essentially eliminate the 3-point line, which is like, wouldn't matter if you were like Notre Dame yesterday against North Carolina, because Notre Dame has no size. They have no physicality on the inside. They have no bodies. Tay Davis is soft. Like, everybody off the bench for Notre Dame is soft and can't guard anything at the rim. Wake, that's like the one thing they can do well. So, like, their offense can stall out worse than maybe any team in all of college basketball. But defensively, stopping teams at the rim, especially when they're undersized teams like UNC that needed to get something going at the rim, that's going to put a lot of pressure on RJ Davis. And it's not saying I don't think he can do it, but he's going to have to create pretty much every shot for this offense. Like, his points are probably not a bad look today. No, I don't care for points in the game or UNC in general. It's just a lot's going to be on his shoulders if nobody's hitting shots and they're not super efficient in doing it, because I don't think they're going to get very many.
All right, maybe leaning more on the defense. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm taking Wake, I'm certainly not banking on their offense.
Yep. Not of late, although on TMA, Mikey was talking about Hunter Salas' points completely read it out chart. That's a good sign for some points.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the best matchup out of all of them by far, not just because he's Hunter Salas, but they let him go one-on-one, get to the rim. Obviously, he's got height on whatever defender he's going to see. So, don't hate that at all. But it's going to be one-on-one for a lot of the game. Hunter Salas on his side, he'll probably get like a different defender. So not literally one-on-one, but like Hunter Salas and RJ Davis are going to have to do a lot.
They certainly are. They're going to have to do it all. We'll see if they can get it done. Why are we talking about Gleyber Torres 100 times in the chat right now?
Dude, the way he's busting.
Seen a lot of Gleyber Torres love.
Okay.
Hitting the nuke. We got a Chaco Denny McCarthy tracker notif in the chat. Denny McCarthy birdie on 1. Sure. W Chaco. W Denny. Yep.
Good.
All right, chat. Speaking of starts, we should be getting this Ohio game starting up here very soon. Let's hope. It's supposed to start a couple minutes ago. They're lacking. Get to the Rocket Arena, chat, in Cleveland, Ohio. I wonder what school this one's closer to, because Toledo's in Ohio as well. Doesn't matter. They're getting it done. Little update on the scores right now, Jovan, since we've talked. Looks like Oregon has taken a little 2-point lead. About 12 minutes left. Duke is up 5, playing their best ball with no Cooper Flag. That's kind of ridiculous. Maybe the Duke team is just really good. St. John's up 16 early. You got Wichita and USF in a solid game at half. Wichita stayed up 10, though. Iowa State up by 4 right now at halftime. They put up a 53 piece against the Cougs, but still a really good game. Yeah, it was looking good. Yep. All right, chat. And Arkansas down 11 right now with 6 minutes left in the first half. Shout out Sean Padula. I'm sure he's out there doing shit. He's 1 for 6 from the field. Not doing enough.
Shout out Sean Padula for 1 for 6, 0 for 4 from 3 is crazy.
He's getting his shots up. He's getting loose. Hey, they're still up 11. Save the
There's
shots.
no way we're glazing that, Krabs.
Save them for when you need them.
Unbelievable.
They're up 11 right now. They don't need them to go in. Okay. W Vegas Tom, are you on Oregon? Let me know. No Lipsy or Gilbert for the Clones, too. They're going to be dangerous in the tourney. Yeah, and they're laying this number without their 2 stars. Pretty weird. Although BYU, I don't know if they get the line of respect they deserve.
Yeah.
Although they're playing well to end the season.
Yeah,
you know?
defense is also not what they're hanging hat on. Curtis Jones is just going scorched
Never have, never will.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. How about some late night CBB games? Talked a lot about these early games.
We didn't make it past the day
love.
slate yet, Krabs.
Okay. Take me through the games you want to talk about.
There's only like a couple, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the Texas Booper Bowl today. Longhorns, Aggies. You got any plays?
I would probably lean the under in this game if I had to bet something. But I probably would lean Texas on the spreads. Fade and buzz.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I like Texas. I feel like this game screams down to the wire, especially because like the whole Tremont Mark thing. If this was like a couple weeks ago where Texas just had Trey Johnson point guard and they were just settling for even worse shots than they are now and had really nobody push the issue, I would be on the other side with multiple units. But now that they've kind of found something, I have a little more confidence in them, that they have somebody that's willing to do something shot creation wise other than just settle for horrible shots like Trey Johnson. So
yeah,
I think they might stick in this one. I don't know if they win, but this game just screams down to the wire.
I certainly like the points. Probably not going to get there back in, blue blood Texas, but I like the points. I like the spreads against the Aggies, who look like a much better team on paper, at least this season. Give me Texas.
Yeah.
Give me the points. Might need them. All right.
Sure.
What else? What other earlier games were you eyeing?
You're not taking us to Kent State, Krabs?
No.
Horrible. Just no heart, man. Just no heart.
We could talk about the A10 games because me and
Sure.
Goots are going to go hit those later tonight. We're going to session 3.
Fordham G-Dub.
It might be a little late.
Later session.
Might be a little late for the first game of session 3, which I believe is Fordham GW. Might be there for the second half of that one, TBD. Let's talk about that game now, because I might be there for the second half of it, catching the end. I wouldn't be shocked if Fordham keeps this one within the number. Fordham, kind of a scrappy team, matches up well with GW, plays hard, not super talented scoring-wise, but they fight out there, and they're coming off a pretty good performance against Rhode Island. They bounced back. Their last game of the regular season was against Rhode Island. They lost that game by 20. They showed heart, though, yesterday, almost winning that game by 20 when they were plus 4.5 dogs. W Fordham bouncing back. If you look at how these teams played this season, they only played once this year, and GW beat them by like 30, 58-81. Jesus. Domination for G-Dub. And G-Dub's having a pretty good season this year, 20-11. Pretty solid. They've been up and down at times, but overall, pretty good year for GW. And they beat Fordham this season. Well, Fordham plus 6.5. That line ain't moving much for a team that has a moose shit record. And besides that last win in their last game, has not done something good in weeks. Well, Fordham, besides that game they played earlier this season against GW, Fordham typically plays GW pretty well. Over the years, they have at least. They actually beat them the last 3 times before that last loss earlier this season. So the last 3 times they played before that, the Rams beat them outright. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams cover, or maybe even shock the world and upset GW in this one. Give me the points.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
That would be.
Cinderella story.
That would be. Yeah, Goots, what are your thoughts on that one, man? Fordham or G-Dub? I got a soft spot in my heart for G-Dub, but I don't think they cover today.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, especially my old classmate was on their team last year, so.
Yeah.
And I think LaSalle's covering. I don't know if both dogs are going to cover. So I might stay off this game. I don't know. But
okay,
if both dogs cover, that'd be great. But
can we talk about that LaSalle game real quick? Because we are going to be there for that whole game. LaSalle and St. Joe's, the Hawk will never die. You guys have been hearing me yapping about that for years. We finally get to go see them in person. St. Joe's, that'll be cool tonight. LaSalle, who, by the way, has a legendary coach who's about to hang him up after the end of the season. He already announced his retirement. They're playing pretty hard for coach. We've seen this in years past, Jovan, when coaches are retiring, coaches are getting fired at the end of the season, or they're getting let know that they're about to get canned at the end of the season once the games are done. All of a sudden, you see the team just start winning every game they play. It's like the weirdest shit ever. We're kind of seeing that right now with LaSalle. LaSalle, a team that was kind of dead at the end of the season, but then they turned it on to beat St. Joe's to end the regular season, which I don't love seeing that, obviously. But these guys played twice this season. St. Joe's crushed them. They beat them once earlier on. And then a couple days ago, LaSalle beat them outright 81-74. So these teams split this season. I don't love that LaSalle already beat St. Joe's. But before that loss, St. Joe's was on fuego. The spread says it's St. Joe's up to -12 in a tournament game after they just lost to LaSalle. Right. Certainly the spread says St. Joe's. But could there be some magic in the building at Cap One Arena tonight for this LaSalle team who's playing for coach?
Could be possible. I wouldn't be shocked, Krabs.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And we've seen St. Joe's fall flat on their face in big games a time or two over the years. Wouldn't be shocked if they do it tonight and maybe they win this game, but they don't cover. Big old number, 12.5. LaSalle's getting disrespected, man. Sure. They just beat this team. Interesting. Very interesting line. All right. No way CJ's hitting nukes. Let's fucking go, Goots. Sure. Dubs. All right, you guys want to talk about the Mount game a little bit more? Or do you want to craft up a TNT toothpaste?
It's a crazy question, Krabs.
You guys want to talk about Mount St. Mary's a little bit more? Or do you guys want to craft up a TNT toothpaste in the NBA?
Insane question.
Let me know. Cincy JJ, Mount game. All right. OG Sour Mount. Yay Lads Mount.
You know they want
Chaco
to hear about
Mount.
the Mount, man.
We got a lot of people who want to hear more about the Mount. I can't put the chain on because I think they lose today, and I might fade them like a piece of shit. I haven't decided yet. I did it last night, and boy, those coins came home just the same as it does when you're backing your team. It might be blood money, fade Navy, but it worked. My God, it worked. Jovan, we'll see, man. But I certainly think the Mount loses this game tonight. That spread is crazy. It's Marist.
You've literally been soaking over this game for a full day, Krabs. It feels
it's Marist.
Feels wrong if you're not actually involved on the other side. You're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, and I guess it is a win-win, right?
It is, yeah.
Hit my bet, or I'm a fool and the Mount moves on.
Yeah.
Yay Lad says, I need the analysis. Yay Lads, I'll spare you the analysis. I already said it. I already went over it once, and Jovan's going to fucking explode if I say it again. So we're going to move on. All right. We're going to move on. Can we talk about some late night CBB now?
Sure.
A couple really good games that I want to run by you. Kansas, Arizona. Certainly one of them. Definitely had Kansas circled before the tournament to maybe shock the world when everybody's so against them and they're having their worst career season under Bill Self. As a contrarian, I automatically want to bet this team to win their conference tournament, right? That's just how my fucking weird brain works. But they are playing an Arizona team, Jovan, that they have beaten already this season. Arizona's not playing great right now either. They've only covered one game in their last 5. Kansas is honestly playing better than them to end the season. So maybe people are forgetting how bad this Kansas team really is with some recency bias after some big games, some big wins, including that win against Arizona of late. And maybe nobody wants to back Arizona. I was kind of with Mikey Overs on TMA earlier today. I kind of like the Wildcats. And I kind of like Caleb Love here, fading Kansas on the back-to-back.
I don't know if I can get there. I think everybody would want to fade. This is like one of the more obvious looking, I guess, bounce back spots. I guess you could say it is because they just beat them in Kansas. And now Kansas is not at home where they make every shot. They're away from that where they shoot horribly, but they didn't shoot horribly last night. Just defensively, they had really no answer for Keyshawn Hall. I mean, Zeke Mayo showed up and hit 5 threes last night, which was huge. If he has anywhere near that, I mean, that's huge for them in this game because they're going to need him to shoot. But I don't know. The thing I just can't get over with Arizona is that like in that matchup at Kansas, I did not expect them, especially with this new lineup that's more size, more defensive versatility, how they just had no answer for Hunter Dickinson. So like not just him, but like KJ Adams had a solid game too. Like everything just looks so easy at the rim. And that was extremely irregular to see. It was odd. So, I mean, you can assume they're going to try to make some adjustments, but when you're getting thrashed at the paint like that, I mean, you can't really make any adjustment other than doubling, which I don't think that's going to do anything with as willing a passer as Hunter Dickinson is. So, I don't know. I don't think really anybody is down to get with Kansas today. I might.
All right. Can we check the splits on that puppy, Gates? You mind? Curious what people are betting. Okay.
Really?
That's all right, Gucci. That's all right, brother. All right. What about thoughts on Oklahoma, Kentucky?
I mean, Oklahoma shot the lights out yesterday for the first time, maybe ever. Yeah, I don't know if I expect the same thing to happen, especially when Kentucky is going to funnel them to shoot. So it's kind of asking for some sort of shooting regression. So I don't want to go to Oklahoma, even though I have no confidence in Kentucky in this tournament whatsoever. I do think it's going to get really weird, especially in this bottom side of the bracket. So I wouldn't be shocked if Oklahoma got it done again and then just got absolutely destroyed come this next game here. But it's a tough one to back them after that performance.
Yeah, I guess the square way I would play this one is taking the over, taking points. Don't know if I love the sides.
Yeah.
High total. Moving up.
Yeah, it is pretty high. I mean, I don't know. First game was 164.5 total. Went over that by the hook. I guess you could say this one's up there too. Oklahoma's been scoring,
you could assume a tournament game, I guess, to have a little bit less points, a little bit more of a low-scoring feel, I guess. I'm not too worried about that total being a little bit lower, but
I just hate taking overs. Hate taking overs when one of the teams is coming off of 50% plus shooting from three, which Oklahoma is just about at. They shot like 48, 49, I think it was yesterday.
Okay. Any thoughts on UNLV late night against Utah State? It's in Vegas, not at Utah State, but late night, Mountain West tourney game. UNLV playing pretty good ball here to close out the season. Although they skated by against Air Force.
They looked horrible yesterday.
Yeah, they looked horrible yesterday, but before that, they've looked good.
Yeah, it's just that like they have. I mean, there's no Rich Wayne, no Deaton Thomas. It's like there's only so many places for the ball to go. It's like Hills was kind of grubbing down low for a bit. I had like Henley squares and he shot 4 for $1 million in the game. Like nobody else really doing anything. I guess Bedford stepped up and hit a couple threes. It's just, I don't know. I'm probably going back to Henley just for volume purposes, faster game and everything. But I don't know. It's one of those where UNLV should have no reason to stay in this game and they'll probably make it close for absolutely zero reason. And Hill's going to have to be incredibly active for that to happen.
Damn, bro. I didn't know Rich Wayne was out.
Yeah, he got hurt in their last regular season game.
Against New Mexico.
Yeah.
Shit. That's going to make this damn near impossible. I mean, look, they've actually been playing okay without Deaton Thomas, which surprised the heck out of me. Because after he went down, I just kind of figured it was GG's and the season was chalked. But they kind of played better without him, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised if he hits the portal. It doesn't play another game again for this Rebels team. I don't know. It just feels like kind of weird vibes this season. They played better without him, but without him and Rich Wayne, who's kind of carried them at times without Deaton Thomas, I'm probably out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I don't have the stones for it, but
I don't either.
Can bet your ass I'm going to be back on Henley. Have to do it.
Okay. Would UNC ML be an okay late juicer? I don't think so. I'll be honest, crank season. Crazy name. But no, I do still like UNC to win the game. I do think they win, but not confident enough to give it out or recommend it at that price. Not even in LA, not even on the money line. I think Wake Forest is honestly the play looking at that spreads. But I do like UNC to get the win. That's a tiny middle, though, you're trying to hit. Tiny middle.
Yeah.
Xavier's winning today, Vegas Tom says. I don't know, man. I like Marquette a lot. Looks like Ohio is up too early, but a lot of ball left.
So much ball
A
left.
lot of ball left. All right. We'll see what Ohio can keep doing. Let's hope they show some fucking heart. Please do not lose to Toledo 3 times this season. That would suck. All right, Oregon's up a couple. Duke is up more than 10 now against Georgia Tech. That's crazy. St. John's destroying Butler right now, sure. You got BYU fighting at half, or not at halftime, fighting right now, down 8 points. God, what a game. I got a feeling that game's going to close a little bit closer than what that score says right now. Hey, Brandon Loudnuke.
Wow.
Sure.
Brandon
Against
Loud,
the Nats.
Yeah,
Sure.
I figured that was the only reason why you knew that because I didn't see it in chat.
Yep. Sure. All right, Ole Miss is dominating right now. Shout out Padola. Let's keep moving and grooving here. I want to go ahead to the ice briefly. Are the Caps losing today? They're getting some line disrespect there against a hot Kings team. Winners of 3 in a row.
You got to remember who they're playing, Krabs. It's the
Yep.
Kings, who are the greatest team in NHL history at home.
Yep.
I see their updated record. But yeah, 21-3 at home. So they're obviously
Crazy, dude.
Always going to get plenty of line respect anytime they're playing in LA. So it's not all that surprising. Plus, I mean, they've been not as hot as the Caps, but they've been playing pretty fantastic hockey themselves. So when it's strength on strength, I guess this season, I definitely would lean the Caps way. Wouldn't hate that at all.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was weird initially seeing the best team in hockey at plus chicken, but they are on the road against the best home team in hockey off of 3 wins. So that probably cancels out, if not means more than the Caps being the best team in hockey. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
The line makes sense, and maybe it is the Caps at plus chicken. I feel like they've come through at plus chicken a lot, and they keep fighting, man. That's a team that I feel like they play better when they go down 1-0. It's weird as shit. They play better when they're losing. Never seen it. All right, what other games are you liking on the ice? We don't have a ton of time. I'll let you go ahead and kind of comb through and pick your spots.
I don't like too much else, to be honest. I'm required to take the Sharks. Probably the only time, maybe, I don't know if the Blackhawks are left on their schedule again, or God forbid they get like a good spot with the Ducks. I haven't looked at their schedule for the rest of the year, but probably the only time you're going to get the Sharks with a minus sign next to their name. I'm taking it today. It's the Blackhawks.
Okay.
Blackhawks are horrid, dude. Just absolutely horrid. So this is the toilet bowl. So I have to get a play in it. Why not go to the Shark Tank?
Okay. You're thinking this might be the last time we see them as faves.
I mean, I think it's the only time. I don't think they've been favorites so far this year because really this is probably the only situation there would be a favorite.
That'd be crazy. Why is Texas plus 5.5 now? Caleb's asking.
Yeah,
probably because they're winning. All right.
Surely.
Any NBA love?
You want to get a quick TNT 2-piece up and moving?
I don't want to rush it. We could try.
I mean, I have some squares in mind. I'll tell you that. Okay. One of them you'll probably hate. Why don't we take a peep then? One of them you'll probably hate because it's a little squarish, but I mean, we got a Booper Bowl on today, Krabs, with Lakers Bucks. Obviously, no LeBron, and same thing. It's a little different schematically than like the Nets one where I took Luka's assists, but I don't know how we don't go back to it. To be honest with you, Krabs. This feels like one of those games that we get another just legacy Luka performance where he gets a trip dub. He's dishing. Super aggressive too. He has a good match at the score. I'm a little less centered on assists than I was the last time because the Bucks don't blitz nearly as much, but I think he is going to be dishing, especially in a faster paced game now, which is the better part of the matchup compared to the Nets. I think he's going to be busting.
I mean, I'll tell you what sticks out to me right away. It's Austin Reeves, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, which I mean can only help.
Dorian Finney-Smith.
I refuse.
8.5 points.
Pause. Never been in crowd. Never been in crowd. So out on DFS. Talking about butt-naked shots that he gets with Luka. He doesn't hit any of them, man.
Could fade Gabe Vincent coming off of a legacy game. 24 points. He never does that, and he's a popular square today.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody's got to catch the Luka assists. I'm scared to fade any one of those guys, but he did get bumped down. He was at double digits.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I mean, that square's hitting. It's not fun. Or are cool, but it's probably gonna hit.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can respect it if you want to get involved with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking Reeves. I also didn't hate your Lucas Sell job. There's just no normal assist square up there. It's just a
Oh
demon.
yeah, I saw that.
It's a demon.
Wonder where it went. Kyle Juice check.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say for the Lakers, I think it's Reeves at that high ass number, or fading Gabe Vincent, which is kind of what I want to do.
You want to fade Gabe Vincent?
Yeah.
I mean,
Reeves,
he's
PA,
probably not having 2 games in a
Caleb
row.
Muse, POD.
All right, we're off Reeves. Reeves not an option.
Fading Gabe is actually wild from OG Sour. I'm in. What about the late game?
I was taking a peep at
Sack versus Golden State.
I was taking a peep at some of the other squares up for the Lakers, see if there's anything else. There's really not. But the late game, you know what I kind of think this is, Krabs? Kind of think this is a DeMar masterclass.
Really?
Yeah. Off of a pretty terrible game. I mean, he's been like wildly inconsistent lately, but I mean, he only shot 10 shots against the Knicks in a game they got absolutely destroyed in, and he only played 28 minutes. He had 10 or 11 points, which he hasn't done that in a long time. It's been like a month since he's had a game like that. That's really, really bad, and it happened to be in another blowout as well. So now he gets to play, you know, the Warriors, who obviously you can exploit a little bit if you're a bigger wing that can get to the rim. You know, people love to target bigs against them, but in reality, they switch a lot. So you're going to have those mismatches pretty often. I like DeMar.
Okay. You like his points? You like his PRA? What were you
I like his
eyeing?
points.
Okay. Scrolling through some of these other king squares, doing my due diligence here. And Malik Monk still hooping it up, still getting some respect.
This is also, I believe, the first Sabonis game back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, unless I see any Warriors squares that I fall in love with, we might have to go with that DeRozan angle. I don't have much from the Kings.
Yeah.
Any Warriors takes?
I wish he was coming off of a shittier game, but I mean, the Buddy Hield angle, I guess, is there. Revenge game against the Kings, but he just dropped 20 against the Blazers, which kind of kept me off of that. There's going to be some shooter that gets open looks, whether it's him or whether it's like Moses Moody, but they're both coming off a pretty solid game, so I wasn't really in love with anything there.
He's got a quit and post 1.5 3 square. Hilarious.
Yeah,
Have to bring that up.
Saw that.
Yeah, it might have to be DeRozan. Not loving anything in this game. I like that Buddy Hield revenge angle, but he's coming off a 20 piece, bro.
I know. That's why I wasn't in love with it.
You think DeMar in your gut? You're feeling a DeMar legacy game here?
Yeah, I think it's DeMar.
All right, why don't we keep it simple? Go points for both squares. Last time we did this, we cashed one. One more than, one less than. Gabe Vincent less than 9.5 points. DeMar DeRozan more than 22.5 points.
Sure. There we go.
And then, how about a TNT 2-piece, folks? You guys want the link? Our most profitable Prize Picks lineup, knock on wood. Okay? Drop the link in the chat if you guys want to get involved. Bada bing, bada boom. And we only have about 2 minutes here, so we got to power through the squad ride poll. Gucci, if you don't mind, go ahead and run that shit. I'm trying to see that damn train. All right, chat. Squad ride last night sucked with Kansas State. Not going to sugarcoat it. We got to bounce back. We owe you guys a fucking winner. Plain and simple.
Where do you go, Krabs? That's the question.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take command. That way I can rest head on pillow, knowing that if we lose, it's all my fault, which is how I want it to be. Every time we put your plays in there, the chat votes for them. It's not even your fault. They just do. And then it ends up fucking losing. And then you go 2 for 2 on your Prize Pick squares and you miss 2 straight bets. Still go 3 and 2 on the card, have a good day, but then we lose the squad rides. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this, Jovan. I really
you
am.
just need
And I
to
think the best way.
reach into your gut, Krabs.
I think I just got to take over,
Tell
man.
you what's green.
We're going SMU Clemson under 142.5.
Wow, I did not expect that to be first up here. Love that.
Yep. You know, it'd be a little easier if we had later plays.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was asking where are we going, because it makes it a little more difficult. Some of the stuff is early.
Reeve Trees, you don't want crab cake? Well, every play Squad Ride L has been Javon's the last 2 weeks, and nobody cares. So
yeah,
and I mean that out of the love in my heart. Javon knows it's not an insult. That's just how it's going.
It's just the way it goes, dude. My
cheat codes.
My plays get
we keep doing
auto bumping voting every single time.
Yeah, so I got to figure out a way to navigate this and find winners because you guys only pick Javon's play every single time.
Yeah, you got to take command.
Okay, we have to pick a winner every single time like we used to because that's all that matters, no matter who it comes from, right? All that matters. All that matters. I'm looking at your ice play. I like your ice play. Over 5.5 in the Lightning and the Flyers.
Yeah. Only problem, I guess, with that, not that I don't have full confidence in the play, but we did squad ride the last Flyers over.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can have that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me look at some of these later night games then. What's up, Chew? W's Beast. Wow, Oregon running away with it. Golly.
Gage.
Let's look at some of these late night Geysermans in CBB.
Ooh, BYU walking back.
BYU showing a lot of heart.
So much heart.
I mean, let's put Marist in here. It's a winner. Again,
wow.
I'm done just trying to put in and do what's right.
Wow.
I'm done biting my tongue. I'm putting in here what's fucking hitting because I'm done taking the blame for all the losers if I can't get credit for when they win. I'm taking over. I'm taking command. If it doesn't work, Jovan, you're taking back over, but we're putting Marist in here. We're fading them out.
I thought I would never see the day we were fading them out in the squad ride poll.
Yep. We're doing it.
Unbelievable.
We're fading them out. We're fading them out. Okay. 2 plays, 2 winners. Keeping it simple in the squad ride poll. 2-minute poll because we're already over time here. W Surge, W Trent right after this. Guys, stick around. Get ready to pinch Trent, the play of your lifetime. Get ready.
I love this. I love this foot down from Krabs.
2 plays, 2 winners. SMU Clemson under. Marist -3.5. Lock in. Lock in. They're both winning. They're both winning. Okay, get involved. Please, responsibly. Click the right button. All right, we got to have plays that turn green like we used to back in the day. We don't have to change much, guys. A couple tweaks here and there, a couple tinkers. Nothing massive. We're still overall sticking to the game plan here. Lock in. Click the right button. Click the button that you know in your heart is turning green. You only got 2 options. Okay, you can't really stray away here. 2 plays, 2 winners. The under in Clemson and SMU, and Marist -3.5. 2 plays, 2 winners. Get involved. All right, you got 1 minute left. Oh, good. Looks like Ohio's crumbling. Sure. Down 4.
So much game left.
Unbelievable, bro.
So much game.
A lot of game left. A lot of game left. All right. More options when 30 CBB games? No. How about now? How about 2 plays? 2 winners. The under in the Clemson and the SMU game and Marist -3.5. 2 confident winners. We're not reaching. We're not forcing. We're giving you 2 green plays and hope you guys click the right button. Either way, it's turning green. And Jovan, you might have to catch the end of that BYU game. Chat splooging for
it. Oh, yeah. This game is nuts. I got it up on the second window here now. BYU is going crazy.
Sure. All right. Yeah, Turner Mac, you're right. A lot of ball game left. Come on. A lot of ball game left.
Way too much. Ohio. Way too much. As much as we bitch about Trent for not being built for March, Krabs, we got to be better.
Yep. Fading your boys, Krabs. You at least better be wearing your necklace during the game. I can't wear the necklace when I'm fading the boys, man. Come on.
The under.
Come on.
Krabs is secretly so happy. We did not.
Yeah, we got an under here. I can't believe that Marist didn't win that. I think chat maybe is listening to my words. They're not just clicking the troll play here, fading them out. They're locking in their favorite play. If that's the case, I got no qualms. W squad rides, W under an SMU Clemson, a no fun play, but it's turning green. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow when it does. Same time, same place. You know where to be. All right, stick around for the